How's it going, everyone? It is Friday, March 22nd, 2024. Let's get into the video of the day. So our pick from the last video was lift. On the D1 chart, you can see we had a really nice breakout. Today, just kind of compressing, holding the breakout, actually doing pretty well considering that the market had dropped down a little bit and is testing the breakout. The stock is holding its own. So I'm ready to see that next leg higher when the market finds a little bit of support. So lift, we're not worried about. But that was the pick from the last video. So just giving it some time. Quick portfolio update. So our MS put credit spread expires today, 88.87. Pretty worthless. Had to take some heat, but that is a very nice win for us. And we have Wells Fargo as a longer term swing. So I want to talk about this a little bit over here. We took this on March 12th. So Wells Fargo is, still open and the stock has gone sideways. So first of all, let's see what the market has done since March 12th. So it pulled back a little bit and then we got a nice positive reaction from the FOMC. So this compression here is okay, but you can see now the stock, the reason we got into the stock is because it had a very nice trend at the time. So we expected this trend to continue afterwards. One thing I've been keeping in mind is how long do I know that the trend is underway? And one thing that Pete mentioned in his articles is usually 10 to 12 periods. So on a day trading basis, usually within an hour, right, you expect the move to produce. Same thing on a daily basis, 8 to 10 periods 10 to 12 periods is about 2 weeks. So you can see here that we took it on the 12th, which was almost 2 weeks ago. It was last Tuesday. Stock has pulled back a little bit, but it didn't really rally up with the FOMC. So I am keeping an eye on this. We're not getting out of the trade, but we do want this move to produce. If it does not produce, then we are probably going to look to exit the trade for a scratch if we can. So I'm not bearish on this, but I wanted this move to produce and I expected this price action to continue. When it's not continuing, that tells me that the trend may be over for the time being and I have to consider putting my capital somewhere else. The good thing is we had a starter position on Wells Fargo and we never added to this position. Why? Because it never actually confirmed in our direction. I'm going to contrast that with another trade. I don't think I put that as a YouTube pick, but it's one pick that I took personally. I took GE over here. Now, GE, I took it on March 13th. I like this pullback to the EMA. I thought we had a very nice runway. Trend is still intact and I expected it to produce. And guess what? It produced. So today, a little bit of a pause. We're not too overextended from this 8 EMA. And I can really hold this all the way until earnings. I believe my GE spread, and let me check my, well, I think it's not great to check your position since then, but when is, yeah, I have GE, I have the 419 call, so I can pretty much hold this all the way until earnings. And I should be in pretty good shape. So that's what we expected to happen, right? See how it produced pretty quickly in the first 4 or 5 days. That move took off. And, I took a cat move overnight over here, right? Produced immediately, and I got my nice profits on that trade. So that's what we expect to happen. Now, cat is actually, this is a bit of a segue, but we're going to get to the market in a second. I am going to create an alert on cat. I'm just going to check how it looks on an H1 time frame, see if we get any kind of dips over here. It's a nice dip. Didn't quite get it over here. We may have gotten it over here. So, yeah, looks like we're getting a nice pullback here. So I'm going to create an alert for an H1 LRSI alert. So when we get that alert, we can reevaluate cat, see if it has a nice entry point. You can see this cross here produced. We got another pullback here. This pullback is higher. Our trend is still good. All right. And this is a very beautiful looking D1 chart. We don't overload on industrials because we have GE, so we don't overload in too much in one sector, but keeping this in mind. Okay, so longer term market bias. I'm still a 2 bullish. I don't think anything has really changed. Even with this FOMC news, I mean, they pretty much said, you know, I think the most dovish thing I got out of it was that the recent inflation data was speed bumps on the journey down to 2%. So I thought that was the most dovish that they've said, and they're still maintaining the 3 rate cuts. So nice optimism rewarded, I guess, in this case from the market. So on a shorter term time frame, we got this breakout here over through compression, gapped up higher. We couldn't really advance too much. And let's look at the price action yesterday because it's going to give us our clue over here. But we held the gap. We had a nice grind higher, tried to break out over here, and then we got a bit of a reversal. Now, the reversal wasn't very strong. You can see in this price action, very kind of pretty tight trading channel. Buyers are in here the whole time. Sellers have control, but they don't have a lot of control. So I view this as maybe like a 1 or 2 bearish on an intraday basis. So we continued this channel. Then we started to move horizontally over here. We got this double bottom, and then we broke through this channel through the prior day low and also the high of the day. So I view this as a little bit more bullish. All right. So our shorter term bias for me right now, if I look at this chart, let's look at the H1 over here. I'm a little bit, I'd say, like yesterday I was fairly bullish, and today I'm a little bit less bullish because you know that sellers are in control, and asset managers are not aggressively chasing. Over here, they're waiting for these dips, buying near the breakout. So I believe we're having some support at this breakout forming. Give it a little bit more time to confirm. But short term, I'd say I am more mildly bullish. So instead of a 3, I'm maybe more like a 1. We didn't totally fill in the gap. This move wasn't stacked red candles. So we know the selling pressure isn't very heavy, but we know the buying pressure isn't as strong either. So I like how we broke through this trend line for the day. Let's delete this. And now we may have a new trend line forming. So we're going to keep an eye on how this channel could play out, but I think I see this high plus trend line over here. And let's see if this ends up being the right channel. And we want to try to get it pretty parallel over here. I like that. I think that's a pretty nice parallel trend line. So we'll see if that's intact or not. But shorter term market bias, I'm maybe a 1 bullish. We look at the price action today, we see we have a kind of bullish reversal day. So first of all, we didn't get the aggressive buying we needed early in the morning. Lots of mixed candles. And in the first hour of the day, you pretty much got your answer, right? This market's not really going anywhere, and we need to be careful, get great entries, and we want the moves to produce fast. If they don't, we are going to take our time stops on the entry. And that's something I've been trying to incorporate more in my day trades. So we get this choppy open, move down higher. You can see here how buyers and sellers are just fighting it out. Because the selling move is weak, over here, we get this long red candle, get this bullish hammer over here, and then this pretty quick engulf. And then that's when we get this slingshot all the way up through the channel and to the new high of the day. Now, market has a bit of a double top here. We are testing this breakout level. And there's just not a lot of momentum either way. I don't have a lot of confidence in either direction. So intraday, I'm more of a 1 bullish. I'd say I like this move up here. I like that it's holding, wasn't instantly retraced. We have some selling pressure here. And there's just a lot of fighting and sideways action. So, not crazy about doing anything much over here. So if I look at kind of the market components for today, what was going on, I think the clue was what's happening in QQQ. So it was fairly weak. I mean, it was a little bit weak and a little soft to start the day, but not as weak as SPY. Where it's compressing while SPY was moving down, and then it starts to gain some strength. And we're seeing this strength reflected in chip stocks, in tech stocks, in and so on. So our flight to safety in the morning was slightly strong. Our rally breath there was some stocks moving downwards, but not every single stock was moving downwards. So it wasn't like everything was completely selling off. There were some pockets of strength, some pockets of weakness. And the interesting thing is that mega cap techs for a lot of the day started off pretty soft, and now they're actually looking a lot better, right? Let's look at something like Amazon, where it was really pretty soft to start the day, had a nice strong response, and actually has been grinding higher the whole day. So not a bad, not a bad looking chart. Google was pretty strong to start the day, and now it's just kind of compressing, not doing much. Apple had some news, so we're not really in the business of trading Apple right now, but it looks like it's not doing too badly over there. And then let's take a look at Microsoft, which I believe, formed a nice, pretty strong bullish reversal over here intraday. So that's kind of the change that we saw from AM to PM. And in terms of our market context, yesterday we knew that the market was a little bit overextended, so we were cautious of that. Oh, that's QQQ. Let's pull up SPY. It's a little bit more overextended, but still nothing too crazy worry about. But over here, we did have to worry about two things. One, do we get a pullback, or two, do we get a capitulation? So how is the movement going to happen either way? We don't have to worry about the bottom falling out. And for swing trades, we want to see some continuation post this breakout. Okay, so we covered a lot of different scenarios. I think swing traders, you could have taken some longs on this breakout. I think as long as this breakout holds, and the longs are showing some relative strength, you can stick with them. But I wouldn't go overboard. I think put credit spreads could work pretty favorably over here because we know this move has been weakening. We want to distance ourselves from the action. We're not getting this strong market trend that we can ride a ton more in the money calls versus what we had a few months ago. I think you can still run some deep in the money calls on really great stocks like GE, but not on all stocks. There are going to be less of those opportunities in the future, given that the market is losing some of its steam, but still bullish. Okay. So with all that said, what are the picks for today? Well, the first thing is, ideally, I like to get these swings when the market is above its prior day high. Given this price action here and the sideways movement, I think this is the first signs that the selling has been, I guess the hole has been, the hole has been plugged, the leak has been plugged. So that's the first sign that we're seeing here. Couple of stocks that came on my radar. Let's go to our tags here. So this one, ERJ, first of all, this stock has gone parabolic, so I think it sets up pretty nicely for day trading. We didn't have this opportunity early in the day, but I do feel that probably the 12:30 candle when the market found support, the stock made a new high of the day. You could get a nice kind of grind higher. There was a decent win over there. I liked NVIDIA quite a bit today. First, you can see that it had a long compression, and it's breaking out of this compression. We found a lot of support on the AVWAP E as well as the 8 EMA. And we're eating away at this long red candle. Another one I liked here was Spot. So Spot is pretty close, but I'd like to see a close above this prior day high and a little bit more convincingly. You can see that there is some resistance at this level over here. So I have an alert set at the top of Spot if it can clear that point. And then some other ones, we had some picks on the short side. ACN was a pretty nice one today. There's a long compression and it actually looks like it broke through this today on the downside right here. And then we got, looks like a nice move since then. Let's actually delete this. Okay. Looks like it broke through that compression, had a nice move down. But I'm not in the business of probably taking any more trades at this point. I think this is a junction to keep it pretty chill. So what's my pick going to be? Well, first thing is I like for this market to close near its high of the day. If it can do that, then you would take some swing positions. But if you're absolutely bent on taking one, my top pick would probably be Nvidia, given that we are holding its own pretty well. Nice move up. It's compressing over here. Pull back a little bit, so it's lost some strength in the market. But you can see that this had some nice volume, decent, at least steady price action, and now there is a little bit of profit taking going on. I believe the next leg of this trend will continue. Let's take a look at this on an H1 basis. You can see pulls up higher, comes back, pulls up higher, comes back. Maybe an M15 alert could be a pretty nice entry point. It looks like it is. It pulls back over here. We get our alert at this point, right it up higher. It's coming back again. So let me see what alerts I have here. I have an M5 alert, but let me set an M15 alert on NVIDIA since it's a little bit choppier, and you can carry in a pretty nice move. So how would you trade it? Well, if you have the the ability to take some deep in the money calls as a short-term swing, that's what I like to do for my short-term swings, then you can do that. But I think it sets up pretty well for a call debit spread overnight. You can get a pretty decent move on this kind of stock, and you mitigate a lot of the risk. So that's probably what I would take today if I had to take a trade. The NVIDIA call debit spread expiring next Friday, not this Friday, provided that the market closes near its high. If it closes near its low, I wouldn't get too crazy about taking any trades. So what kind of call debit spread do you take? Well, it depends where NVIDIA is. I like to buy one that is pretty much, and want to get it at the money. But if we get a market bounce here in the close and we kind of get above this 945 level, then I think a 945, 950 call debit spread would work pretty well. If not, then you would skip out on the trade. You do want to see NVIDIA maintain its strength into the close. That's what's going to be very important. So I'm going to set an alert on this trend line over here. So if we can break through that, we can get something going. But yeah, that is the pick for today. So let me make a note of this, and let's add it to our YouTube picks. All right, so there is your pick. I outlined the conditions, and we will take a look at that next video. So thanks everyone for listening, and I will catch you all next time.